Let's focus on KEC International now. The company reported a steady set of numbers for the first quarter. Profit growth was healthy. The order inflow is something that analysts are watching very, very carefully. Of course, KEC has given a guidance of 15% revenue growth this year. Let's talk more about the outlook and what's happening on ground. We have Mr. Vimal Kejriwal, Managing Director and CEO of the company, joining in. Mr. Kejriwal, good morning. Great to have you back on. Always good to hear from you. So, sir, let's start with the order inflow guideline. I mean, otherwise your pipeline is very strong. I think your order book plus L1, you're at 40,000 crores. So that's a solid number. But I think analysts are looking at the granular details of how many orders you'll get this year. I think the intake was about 5,500 crores last year. Is there any concern of a slowdown, particularly in the West Asia markets, because oil prices are weak? Is there any decline or softness in tendering activity there? Is that a risk?
So let me give you the correct figures. Actually, we got 5,500 crores of orders this year, which is almost 28% lower than last year. But we are L1 in almost more than 6,000 crores, and largely in the T&D area. And surprisingly, most of them are in West Asia. So I don't think we are seeing any slowdown. I'll say any slowdown in that part of the world, whether it is Saudi, whether it is Oman, whether it is UAE. They are just continuing to, keep on releasing tenders. In fact, right now we have almost 25,000 crores of tenders to be quoted in Saudi itself. Okay. So I don't think people have to worry about whether West Asia will do well or not. I think we are very positive about it. I think what we need to also understand is most of these orders are on the back of renewables which are being set up. So most of them are for the transmission of power from renewable sector. So I don't see any risk right now from the oil prices in this market.
Okay. All right. That would be very reassuring for all your stakeholders to hear that the West Asia market is still booming and looking good with renewables specifically. You said 6,500 crores. Those are the orders for which you're L1.
Not 6,500, but yeah, I don't know the exact, but it's 6,000 plus. And okay. I think almost 90 to 95% are in the T&D sector.
Yeah.
And I think close to 4,500 or so are or maybe more than that, are in the T&D part of it.
In that. Okay. So you're sounding still very, very optimistic, at least on the T&D pipeline. Water will come to later. But just, hearing you out, you're confident of delivering 15% growth this year, top line?
100%. We are very clear.
Okay.
All right.
Kejriwal, 15% is top line growth, as you see it. Should not be a problem. Good morning, sir. Just to complete that earlier point, where you said that most of the orders are renewable, and that is something we've heard from other companies as well, right? I mean, because the grid does not exist and it has to be built. If you've got to set up all these renewable projects and you've got to get the power from where it is being produced, generated to where it is needed. Is there a slightly longer kind of runway, some numbers you can share with us, because you're speaking with customers, you know what's happening there, especially in West Asia, Saudi, etc. Is it going to be a very large business over the next a few years?
Yeah, morning, Prashant. I think you're very right. There will be a very long business. I can see very clearly Saudi has just announced some more new tenders for renewables. Abu Dhabi is going. Oman is doing very well. I think all of them are very clear that they want to reduce their dependence on oil for power, and they want to use oil for other purposes, etc. So very clearly we can see in West Asia, India, you are very clearly aware that from 500 gigawatt now the government has upped the target to 600 gigawatt in 2032. So I personally do not see any risk happening on that part of it. The other piece is that all these renewable projects come at a place where you have ample land available, which is generally far away from the consumption center. So they require large transmission lines. So which is where I think we are very positive on those markets.
Can we estimate some sort of I know it's an unfair question, but a TAM, a total size of opportunity here, just based off this renewables, etc. being set up?
I don't think I have that number right now, to be very honest with you. But if you look at the T&D orders to be tenders to be bid or which are under bidding and not been decided, is around 90,000 crores as of now. Okay, that's the size, and that's for next 3 months sort of thing. So there's a huge opportunity which we can see in this market.
So it's. I mean, you got to pick and choose the work you want to do. I mean, there is enough demand.
I'll say almost.
All right. Hi, Mr. Kejriwal. Good to see you in. And as you're indicating, in the past quarter as well, we did see TNT projects, higher margin projects got executed, which helped margins perk up a little bit. But you have guided that margins will improve from here on. So the top line growth, we've got 15%. Margins, you continue to hold on to that 8.5% guidance. No risk over there?
No risk for that. 8 to 8.5 is what we have been guiding. First quarter, we did 7%. So I think we are on track for that.
All right. So the margin trajectory continues to improve from here on. Give us a sense, even in terms of your debt reduction. You were told us last time around, I think as a percentage of sales, it was around 3%. That's likely to come down. It appears you have repaid some debt. So what is the updated debt number, and will this continue for the remaining of this year in terms of debt reduction? The absolute number is what I'm asking. And working capital days, you were guiding that it comes down to around 110 days by the end of this year. That as well holds on, right?
Yeah, that holds on. Although in Q1, we were slightly off.
Yeah, 120 plus.
128 instead of 122, what was there last year. But I think we are very clear on that target that we should be achieving that. Debt, we have been able to have a reduction of around 250 crores despite an increase in sales. So I think we are looking at that debt going down below 5,000 as an absolute number. And our interest to revenue has been 3%, come down from 3.4%. So we're trying to take it to around 2.5% is what we are looking for.
Mr. Kejriwal, now I'm coming to the water business, and you explained it really well to us last time around that it's an issue with payments being released by states, and then you have to be very careful and take state by state calls. So what is happening with that business right now? Also, just give us, so we understand its relevance in terms of, say, your total order book. What percentage is water, or maybe your total revenue pie? What percentage is water right now? And will you be getting, the 1,000 crores plus revenue, which you told us last time? The things are picking up. It's beginning to move. What's happening here?
So let me come to the numbers first. So this quarter, I think we got Q1, we got around 257 or odd crores of cash flow from the business. Okay. And even now we have got some money. In fact, yesterday evening also we got some money from one of the states. So we are primarily in two states, MP and Orissa. MP has been relatively much better in terms of payment. Orissa is just opening up there. I think they had some issues, so they were not making payment, but now the payments have started trickling in. I'll not say it started flowing in, but they started trickling in. The way we have been looking at it is that we are not planning to increase our exposure. So whatever cash we get from the business, that is plowed back into that business for completing of the projects. So I think when you look at the number, if I got 250 crores of cash in Q1, and if you multiply it by 4, I assume it will continue, then we should be reaching our 1,000 crores of revenue target for the year in water.
And what is water? What is it as a percentage of your order book? And will you now be, degrowing, as they say, degrowing or defocusing on this business?
I don't think we can defocus. It's a strategic business, and I think the government has to sort out the issues in the cash flow, because part of it gets funded by the central government, part of it gets funded by the state government. So I think there is some place where it's not working out very well. I think it's getting sorted out. As far as the order book is concerned, I think we have roughly around 2,000 crores of orders yet to be executed in my order book. So that's, if you take 40,000, then it's around 5% of my order book.
But it's a higher margin business, like you explained to us.
It's a
double-digit margin business. So hopefully it gets sorted out. Got your point, sir.
Slightly forward-looking kind of this thing. This is war in Russia, Ukraine, right? Now we've heard from some. A lot of the transmission, distribution grids, etc., have been completely destroyed in that country. Is that whenever and President Trump is calling for a ceasefire in the next 10, 12 days. I mean, the war is going on for 3 years now. I mean, do these kind of things open up whenever there will be a big rebuild effort whenever it happens, whenever the fighting stops? Are those also opportunities in your as you see them?
100%. I think these are places where there are a lot of opportunities. And let me give an example. Already we started receiving inquiries from Syria. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So I'm just saying that, and Iraq is already rebuilding, although I am not there right now, but some of my competitors have already gone to Iraq where they've started rebuilding lines. Syria is probably one step behind that, and Ukraine is probably still a little bit behind that. But in Ukraine, I know we've been getting inquiries for supply of, transformers and towers, etc. Nobody will go right now to build a line there. But supplies and all inquiries are already being discussed. I've received some of the inquiries. So I think maybe 6 months down the line or something, or maybe even earlier, you may start seeing something happening in that market. Okay.
No, that's very interesting. And those things, of course, I mean, very difficult to put a number to it, but those are potentially very large rebuild efforts, right? Typically billions of dollars over, of course, spread over many years. We'll continue to track it, but it's interesting you're saying you're already starting to see inquiries come through, even from Ukraine, etc. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for joining us. It's always a pleasure having you here on CNBC TV 18 Market.